Hey there, welcome. I'm Damien and I'm just another starving artist on the internet. Today I want to talk about social media and the hellscape that it has become in the last few years. Of course, this is not a general discussion of social media in itself, but applied to artists specifically. Visual artists or illustrators, if we want to be even more specific. This is a topic I have briefly mentioned in previous videos just because social media is such a big thing nowadays in almost every field and it affects everything in one way or another. But before we get into that, as usual, I am drawing some original characters of mine. These are Pira and Rosetta, two rat mates and the kitchen staff from the Mysterious Manor. Mysterious Manor is a video game that I am currently working on. And if you like my work, there's a link to all my social media in the description below. And if you would like to support me, you can find my Ko-fi page in the same link, but if you want something in return for your support, you can get a physical print of this drawing from my shop, available in 4 different sizes, or a keychain featuring the same characters. So, social media. The current social media scene, doesn't matter what platform, is ruled by the all-knowing and ever-present algorithm. Obviously it's not the same algorithm in every platform, but it works kind of the same. It's a neural network, meaning it learns through a process called deep learning. These models recognize patterns in the data they are given, and in the case of social media, this data is post interactions, and then make somewhat accurate predictions of what will generate most of those same interactions. And I think we can start to see a pattern already here. The deep learning model used in social media aims to generate more of the same data they use to make predictions. So they basically fine-tune into the content that will generate the most interactions. If you think about it, you could say that these models are inbred as hell. There are several issues that arise from this and affect creators and users in different ways, and we're gonna go through some of them to understand the implications of this. I like to refer to myself, as long as the situation allows for it, obviously, as an artist or an illustrator rather than a content creator. This may seem a bit pedantic, and I'm sure I'm not the only person that has an issue with the way we talk about online content lately. Content does not define what said content actually is. A box can be filled with contents, but that says nothing of what they actually are. Basically, this puts my videos at the same level as a well-researched documentary, an independent movie, a game walkthrough, and a meme compilation simply by calling all of it content. I'm sure posting meme compilations and meme reactions daily does actually take a lot of work, but we can all agree it's not the same type of content as what I do in this channel, and yet I am competing for the same audience and occupying the same space in your recommended page. The algorithm will obviously prioritize the content creators that put more content more often and can generate more interactions. And that's YouTube. In other platforms like Instagram or Twitter, now called X, discoverability is abysmal. Besides forcing creators to post more often, because of the inbred nature of the current algorithm, it demands more of the exact same type of content, progressively making us post more similar content. And if you don't play to the current most effective tactic available, you will just not be recommended. And I have something to admit here. In my previous video, I talked about some controversy that went on some time ago with another much bigger YouTuber. In the 3 weeks that it has been out, I have come to hate that video, and I will explain why. I don't want to talk about YouTube drama. My channel is about art and my experience as an artist, while I explore new ideas and find what I actually want to do with what I create. I make videos in the hopes that my opinions and inputs are entertaining and perhaps helpful to younger artists and others in a similar situation. That is why, despite the controversy having everything to do with art, the fact that this video has almost as many views as the rest of my videos combined annoys me to no end. The algorithm is telling me this is what you have to do, and I don't want to. And I see a similar thing happening in Instagram, for example. There is this massive urge for Instagram artists to find your style and your niche. And when you do that again and again, in a way promoting being stuck in your comfort zone indefinitely and discouraging experimentation. That is also something I don't want to do. And while we are on the topic of creating things we don't want to create, I don't like short-form content, and yeah, I will keep using the word content for the sake of simplicity and a lack of a better term right now. But yeah, I don't like short-form content, and every single social media now seems to push that specifically because of the success that TikTok had. And in my opinion, each platform should stick to their own features instead of adopting every single new gimmick just because a new platform that became popular has that. I haven't checked in a while, and I hope it has changed, but I am afraid to check again. It was all too fast, too short, looping all the way to insanity, not having a proper chance to look at anything that was going on. Half of the shorts is not even the art or the process, but the artist posing, not for reference or the art, just doing faces. I don't know what was the focus of or the aim of the video. I feel trapped in an unfamiliar hellscape of flashing images and sounds I don't understand. I have TikTok installed on my phone. I tried posting stuff for a while. I found it exhausting, and I haven't even opened the app in months now. I just don't enjoy it. It makes me feel old, out of touch, and depressed. More depressed. But leaving aside my comically dramatic descent into short-form madness, at this point I start to realize that I sound like a dejected old man going on rambling about how bad today's new technologies are, and the kids are always on their damn phones, and the new generations are worse than mine. That's not me. I am making this video not out of hate for the current state of social media, but rather with a bit of hope. My experience with social media has been very disappointing for me. Not just as a creator, that's only a recent development, but as a user. I remember when I was much younger, I may have been around 6 or 7, and for some reason there was a lot of anime on TV when I was a kid. So there was this episode of Fist of the North Star airing, and that was the coolest thing ever. Perhaps not the most appropriate thing for a 6-year-old to be watching, but I remember it just felt so fresh and different, and I liked it, but I didn't know that I liked it before I watched it. It is that feeling that I have been chasing for ever since. Social media, despite giving me access to more information and opinions than any human could ever go through, has failed to revive that flame for me. It is designed to keep me on the platform by playing it safe, keep me comfortable in the things I like, content that both the algorithm and me know that I like. But I am an artist, constantly looking for new ideas, fresh stories, things I didn't know I liked. Comfort feels wrong to me in this context. But social media is a business at the end of the day, and social media owners don't actually care about users or creators as much as how much money we can generate them. And it is in these business circles that the term content, as we know it nowadays, originated. They don't care what the content is as long as it makes money. And I don't really know how to change this, or if it's even possible. I just wanted to bring this up to your attention and perhaps start a discussion, which might be a bit amusing coming from me considering the current size of my channel, and the idea that something as big as a social media platform can be changed from within by a relatively small niche. With all of this said, I don't seek to become obscenely famous and wealthy through social media content. I don't want to be a big content creator or an influencer. I am an artist or an illustrator, and I would like just enough to live more or less comfortably, so I can keep making art and keep making stories for people to enjoy. Perhaps help them find that feeling that I have been longing for. And that was part of the problem, perhaps a very important part. But now that we're here, I want to move on a little bit from the problems with the platforms themselves and into how users and creators interact with each other and how we perceive ourselves in social media. I have noticed that in recent years, there has been a shift in the way we talk to each other here. Not talking about YouTube specifically, but the internet as a whole. When I was a young teenager, there weren't a lot of people my age constantly engaged in internet discourse. Something that is entirely different now. Every single young person uses the internet daily for many things, and we are exposed to an amount of information and situations we have never seen before. And I don't know how this can affect the way someone sees interactions with other people long term. But there are a lot of unhealthy practices in the online art community nowadays that absolutely baffle me, and I'm saying that very nicely. I'm not going to talk about comparing yourself to other artists to the point that you hate yourself and your art, I already made a video about that, and I'm not going to repeat myself that much. I'm talking about the excess of inflammatory language in comment sections. I'm talking about shitposting, haters, and straight up bullying going on right now. I stopped giving feedback to some of my friends at one point, because I was criticizing the work to the same standards I criticize myself. And I guess I criticize myself too harshly, perhaps. But some of you are straight up bullying younger artists, and you need to stop doing that. It doesn't matter how old they are, it doesn't matter how bad you think the art is. If you can't say anything actually helpful, just go do something productive somewhere else. Now for the artist. Running social media can be a full-time job, and you're expected to do it full-time without a guarantee that anything will work out the way you want. You can do everything right and still fail because the algorithm is a lottery. I will recommend doing what you can. Don't get burnt out. Don't do art you don't want to do just for engagement. I have done that. It didn't work, but if it works, are you actually satisfied that it works only when you do that? And I know I always go on about constantly challenging yourself by going out of your comfort zone and learning and trying new things all the time. But it's also okay to do comfort zone art once in a while. And it's also okay to change your style twice a month. I've got a video about style coming soon, by the way. And despite what I said earlier, you need to have a bit of thick skin if you want art to be your career. We are competing with a lot of other artists for a limited number of art jobs. So even without all the online bullying, you need to learn to handle rejection and harsh criticism if you want to progress. And finally, but not any less important, and this is for everyone, artist or not, please get off the internet once in a while. Please go touch some grass and look at real people in the face. And that's all I have to say for now. I hope you found this video helpful and insightful, if only a little. Please let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with anything I said, or if you have any suggestions for things you want me to talk about in the future. And like, subscribe, and do all the YouTube things. We're seeing the finished drawing now, and remember that if you like my work, there's my socials, show up coffee page, all in the description. I told you about them earlier. So yeah. Keep drawing, keep getting better, and I'll see you next time.